Good evening, all. Good evening, and welcome to day 5 of our AWS Masterclass. Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. How was your day going? Good evening. Yes, am I audible? Can you see my screen properly? Hi, and good evening. Good evening. Yeah. We'll start with this session. Before that, in the previous session, what we have discussed, just a recap, we have discussed about how to create, once again, we have started with Linux environment. Then we have added that HTML content where just representing its IP address or its host name. And after that, we went into creation of Windows. We have also seen about VPC, what it is and their introduction. And we also went into load balancer and have deployed a load balancer, and with the help of DNS name, the URL, you have tried to access that too, and you got your results from different host name. The load balancer worked properly. You have seen that. And this session we'll be starting with nothing but AutoScaling, and with that AutoScaling we'll be shifting our focus towards this day's main guy. It is nothing but Elastic Load Balancer. It's about Elastic Beanstalk. And the names it will get confused sometimes. Elastic Beanstalk, it's a service for deploying web application. And I planned for going with Flask, and then someone asked about the Django, so why not we try both? So in this session, I'll be giving you a demo of how you can build and deploy web applications with Python like Flask and Django, and then use it to deploy globally. I'll be doing it, and I'll be providing the link once again in the chat box. You guys must try and use it, and then give me a result that whether it's working or not. Clear? Can we start with day 5? And have you guys tried to create Windows in EC2 instance? How many of you guys have tried it? Good evening all. Good evening. Yeah, starting with this day 5, we'll be discussing mostly about Elastic Beanstalk, Flask and Django. Before that, let us wind up our task about autoscaling. Okay, so autoscaling, this image is enough for you guys to understand what is autoscaling is. Scaling, the term scaling defines as increasing. Okay, for example, we have discussed about our web applications and all. Very good. I can see some of you guys have tried it. Good. And talking about autoscaling, we know if I run my web application, deploying it in a server, that server has some limitations, and after that server will struggle to run. Okay, when the load increases, it will struggle. You can have a load balancer, but how do you know that this much server is enough for me? For example, can I know that my 4 server are enough or 2 server is enough to handle the load? Okay, we don't know that, right? So in such places, you can either go and manually scale it, which means if the load is high, you can increase on your own the server, or you can use this option which is auto scaling, where you can define. For example, I can define keep a maximum of 4 servers. Okay, minimum size is 1, desired is 2. Okay, whenever the scaling is required, which means when the load goes high, optionally 2 servers will be created, and you will be paying for that also at that time. When the load is less, what happens is this. Okay, it will just remain with these 2. Okay, so that these 2 can balance. So whenever required, automatically the scaling happens. That's what called as auto scaling is. And AWS auto scaling is a service that automatically adjusts the capacity of AWS services for application performance to reduce the downtime. Okay, so we'll start with auto scaling. Before that, we should go and check about what should I check in my AWS console. Start with budgets. Okay, it's well under the amount which I have planned. So going back into EC2, auto scaling comes with EC2, other services also, but basic is EC2 because that's what the server is, where we need these things to be performing. Fine. So initially what I'm going to do is I need to have some sample servers. So once again, I'll just do it quickly because I've done it in previous class. I'm just going to create some Linux server with what I have done in the previous session. Okay, allow HTTP traffic, and in the advanced details, let me just go and utilize these, which is the command which I have utilized yesterday's session. The same thing. We'll launch this instance. I need this to show you guys an example, so that's why I'm creating. I'll be creating a couple of instances and another one. Let us launch our server 2. Okay, and yeah, allow HTTP traffic, and in the advanced details, let me go with the optional user data and launch this instance too. Fine. Good. One is running, another one is created. So we'll add auto scaling now. I can scroll below and find this auto scaling group. Okay. So this load balancer we have seen in previous session. Now I'll directly jump into auto scaling groups. Okay. So it helps to maintain your application availability. If the load goes high, it can increase its number. Okay. So that your application won't go down and the load can be balanced successfully. So you can click this create auto scaling group and you can give a name AutoScaler 1, and you need to have something known as a launch template. So this template is because if required, your server can automatically create this. Okay, so that's why this launch template is. If you don't have anything, you should create one by clicking this option. You can create a launch template, and this template is nothing but a template for my EC2 instance. Same thing, you are going to define a template. Okay, so my template 1, I'll give a name. Okay, what version it is, first version, a description, and then scroll below. In the quick start, if you click, you can use Linux, and choose for practice, go with free tier eligible one. And in instance type, let us go with t2.micro, free tier eligible. And in the key pair, I can or I cannot. It's you can just leave it as such, all no issues with that. And yeah, you can select your security groups if you have, or you can leave that too. Don't include that in the launch template. Yeah, 8 GB is there. We'll go with that. Same things, guys. Same things in the advanced details. If you want, you can provide your data. For example, your code. You can choose your files like that, and you can create this template. It's a template. Later on, if you want, you can use it in EC2 too. So here now I'll be having my template 1. So I'll just take that particular default version which is available and click next. And if you scroll below, I think we need to go with subnets. You need to select your availability zone and subnets. So what all things is available for you, you can choose it to make your application run in these places. And yeah, let it load. Go with next. So if you want, you can attach a load balancer, existing load balancer or new load balancer. Right now I don't have one, so I'll go with no load balancer for now. If your application required, you can directly attach it so that you can manage between those. And scroll below, you can find the next option, and this is what important place is. In step 4, you have an option of what is your desired capacity. I'll tell my desired number of instances to. Minimum should be 1 and maximum I'll keep it and play with 4 now. Okay, so let the maximum be 4, and you can go with next. Next, yeah, finally you can verify once again and create this AutoScaling group. Okay, so it is updating the capacity as of now, which means after some time, if you just check your instance running, initially these two I have created, right? So the maximum I have given is 4, so automatically I can see some servers will be creating as soon as possible. So that's what will happen soon. Can you guys see it? Automatically it has been created. Something is created without my knowledge. So that is because of the AutoScaling group. It will be created based on the template I have given. Can you guys see this? So now the instance running is actually 4. And for example, sometimes what if I have deleted this instance which I have created, server 1. Okay, I'll also delete the server 2. So what happens is it automatically generates furthermore instance with the same code which I have provided, which means it will reduce the downtime. Even if application goes down, it will be created and managed. For example, I'll delete these two. So it will be automatically created to maintain your application keep on running smoothly. So that's what the application of AutoScaling group is. It will scale automatically, not just like it can't go and create tens and hundreds of instances. You will be manually giving what's your desired capacity or maximum capacity. With the level of maximum capacity, it will stay within that limit. Okay, clear? We can wait and see. Furthermore, we'll be creating. It will take some time. Is it clear, guys? I'll run it for some time. Automatically, furthermore will be created. We should give it some time, and later we can find some more instance will be created. For now, we'll leave it as such, and later on we'll come and verify whether some more are being created or not. Anyway, it will be keep on running only when you terminate or delete your AutoScaling group, then only it will stop. So if you just leave it, see here, another one started. It's in the pending state. Can you guys see it? So in the instance running, I can find another one soon because it has been started there. It will be available soon here. Pending, it's starting, it's actually initializing, now it's running. If you go into the running state, you can find 2 things are running. So it will be keep on generating to manage your load. So if you want to just stop it, finally you can go into the AutoScaling group. This is actually running. Okay, so that's why it has been creating. So you can select this in the actions if you don't want it. Finally you can go and delete it by mentioning the name. Delete, fine. Sometimes it asks the name. Sometimes you can go with delete option. Once you delete these, you can't it can't regenerate your instances, so you are free to go. And make sure if you are practicing this, practice and then delete it. Okay, otherwise instances will be keep on popping. After the free tier eligibility gone, you have to pay for what you use. Just done AutoScaling group. We have created a template and then attached, and then we have given our subnets and then desired capacity, maximum capacity. Automatically I could see some of the instance started because to maintain our application load it has done. Okay, if you remove it, okay, so now it will be deleting entire things which is started. So there is no instances right now which is running, and everything has been terminated. After some time, please check once again so that if nothing is started again, then everything is fine. You can proceed with your steps. So that's it about our AutoScaling groups. I hope it's clear how it's working. And see here, guys, I can understand that it will be a little bit difficult following these steps one by one. If you are practicing, then I'll tell you rewatch this video a couple of times when you try. That's why, that's when you can match the speed and then achieve the same effects as I do. Okay, anyway, since we are following a lot of steps inside, even though I go slow, if you just think it back once again, you will be forgetting. You can rewatch this session once again and achieve the same. So that's what I'll be suggesting you to learn AWS. That's what I have done. So before continuing, so if you want to convert, this masterclass into a certified internship on Amazon Web Services. You can join as an internship user. You will be getting all the 21-day sessions, access to it for 90 days. You can rewatch it in our LMS portal as many times you want. You will be getting all the downloadable files, codes, support, etc. 21 PPTs, and we are providing 6 Zoom sessions, mastermind session. It will happen in Zoom, where the internship user can directly interact with the mentor and clarify their doubts, and personal support will be given there. You will be getting internship confirmation letter and internship certification by the end after completing this internship. And to avail this, you can use this coupon code of the AWS MC2 and get it in a discounted fee of $899. The link is provided in the chat box. So if you want to get benefited from this internship, I'll suggest you to utilize this coupon code and buy it in this discounted fee. So in chat box it's posted now, so if you are interested, you can utilize that. And we have completed AutoScaling, and most probably we won't be coming back to EC2 to learn about it, but after this we still have a lot of sessions, right? Today is day 5. The remaining sessions, mostly about 15 or 16 sessions, we will be seeing about lot of services which requires EC2. I'll be coming and using EC2. So what I'll suggest you to do is learn EC2, what I have told you guys till now, learn it. So if you are familiar with that, later on when I come back, you will also be familiar with that. Okay. So starting with Elastic Beanstalk for web application deployment. Okay, it's actually it's a service which is provided for web application deployment. And for example, guys, we talked about EC2, right? It is called as infrastructure as a service, IaaS. Okay. Because they provided the infrastructure, you are handling the OS, you are mentioning the application and running it. Okay, so this is the next step. Okay, platform as a service, they provide the platform because you are just going to submit your application. The rest of the things will be handled by them. Remember, we have talked about 3 types of cloud service: infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. This is platform as a service option. It is a service. If you have your web application code, you can use AWS Elastic Beanstalk to deploy your application globally. So that's what I'll be doing in this session. So there is actually a funny advertisement from their side which I have used to explain this Elastic Beanstalk. It is, for example, if you have your web application, the e-commerce site, when your load goes high, your system will get the load can't be managed by the server, so you are just going into your system server and you see it's really chaos there. And what you have decided is you have tried to scale your servers, and it's actually a tough task. You need a team to manage. You will be managing it everything by you. But what if there is all these things will be taken care by AWS? So that is what this Elastic Beanstalk. This advertisement suggests that if you just give your application to Elastic Beanstalk, then you can be free. So that's what their advertisement is, because everything will be taken care by them. You just need to handle your application. So the server, the load balancing, auto scaling and all will be handled by Elastic Beanstalk from AWS side. So Elastic Beanstalk is a service for deploying and scaling web application and services. You can upload your code and Elastic Beanstalk automatically handles the deployment, from capacity provisioning, load balancing, auto scaling to application health monitoring. Everything will be done by them. Okay. Actually, this Elastic Beanstalk is nothing but it uses EC2 instance for creating your server. So they will be automatically creating. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. You will be getting your S3 buckets. Automatically it will be done. So you just need to give your application code and select what platform you require. Okay. And can we guys start with Flask and Django and deploy it? Can we start? Can I get some response in chat box? First, I prefer to start with Flask. I'll tell you there are 2 ways where you can use Elastic Beanstalk and deploy your application. One is directly doing it in the console. Another one is using a command line interface. So for Flask, I'll be directly doing it. It's easy. For Django, which is tough, I'll be doing it with the help of command line interface, my command prompt, I'll be directly handling it from here. Yeah, can we try? Yes. Yeah, first I'll start with Flask. For Flask, it's simple. I already have that application, I think so. Sample Flask. See here. For doing these things, before that, I just want to go, guys, and show you about Elastic Beanstalk. Let me shift into our region, Mumbai. It be South one. Yeah. So Elastic Beanstalk is, they'll manage everything. You can create your application. So first you can do a sample try, okay, before going with Flask or Python, Flask or Django. First let us start with a sample application from their side. Sample app, okay. So environment name and all automatically will be given. You just need to give your application name. You can alter that too. I used to just leave it as such, let it be. And here you have to select which platform you require. I'll go with Python. Okay, this is where you will select which branch you use, which version of it, etc. will be selected here. And scroll below, you can directly upload your code or you can go with sample application. Since we are practicing, I am going with sample application. And then scroll below, for free tier you stick with the single instance, okay, and click next. So this is where I hope we have skipped a part in discussing about IAM. When we discuss about it, we have discussed 4 things. One is user, another one is user groups, another one is policies, and another one guy is role. Remember role, I have told you, right? What is a role in AWS? Role is like, it's a collection of policies you can add, but what's the use of it? If one service required to access other services, we need to add some roles, right? So that's what this is. See here, this Elastic Beanstalk actually requires to use EC2, but they can't directly interact and use it. You need to give permission. So how will you give it? You need to attach policies. You have to create a particular role for it and then attach policies to it. Okay, if you are doing, you can create and add a new service role. If you don't have it, I already have it, so I can select an existing role like this. If you don't have it, create. Okay, so it will be creating in this name. I already have it in this name, so I'll go with some name change, and you can view the permission detail. It is adding this permission, enhanced health. It's a policy name. You can search it in IAM. This is a policy name. This is adding. So these are the policies which gets added here. Okay, so I'm adding it, and then you need a EC2 key pair which you can use. Okay, I have this. I'll select this. And for EC2, you need to create a role. You can view the permissions. It requires WebStock, okay, Elastic Beanstalk web tier, Beanstalk worker tier, and multi-container Docker. So this won't be generated automatically. You need to do it. So for that, parallelly create IAM. Go into IAM. I'll tell you guys. I haven't told you guys how to create a role. I'll do it now. Okay, go into the roles. Okay, so you can I think I already have a role. For now I'll search EB roles and let me verify manually. Okay, so these are the things I have attached to it. So if you want to create something, you can go into the roles and create a role, and you can select the use case. For example, let us give it as for EC2. Beanstalk, but it is particularly for EC2. You can stick with that and go and click next, and this is where you will select the policies, what all policies has been given here. Okay, you can search the name. For example, let me just copy this and paste it here. You can find it, right? You need to add it. I have selected one, and also if I need another one like this one, so you need to manually do it and create, select these. Okay, we just select these. It's a one-time thing which you can do later on. I'll be just adding them. So I have selected 3, and you can click next, and you can give a name here. eb roles, some name which you can call later on, okay, and you can create a role. So like that you can create roles, okay. Anyway, I'll use the role which I have created earlier, and I can select this role which I have been using for a long time. So that's it. From this side, click next. It's a place where you'll allow the settings, okay. This is optional. You can select VPC if you want. You can select the addresses and all. I'll just skip it for now. And yeah, about the size and all, you can select these things. So there are a lot of optional things. If you are practicing, just go with the base things and don't alter it so much. Sometimes you may end up selecting the wrong things. So we'll click next. And yeah, this is a place where you have to review everything and submit it. So once you submit, it actually takes a time to make it deploy, okay. It will take few minutes actually. You can go into the environments, click that app, okay. So this is where you can see your events happening. If everything goes smooth, you will be getting a positive sign here. If anything goes damaged, you can find it here. Once it is done properly, you will be getting a domain URL which you can see your app running in that URL. I'll do it later because it should be starting, right? So in the meantime, what I'm planning to do is, if you want to deploy, this is a sample application, so haven't given any code. It's actually a Python sample application from Elastic Beanstalk, okay. So if I want my app to run, I need to follow some steps, okay. To do that, I can use the documentation from AWS. You can search for AWS Flask documentation for Elastic Beanstalk. Sorry, EBS is Elastic Block Storage. You can search for Elastic Beanstalk, and you will be getting this documentation from Amazon itself. You can follow it. They will be giving you step by step, okay. So what is the basic prerequisite you require? Okay, so this is the steps we'll be following. You need to create a virtual environment with Flask, create a Flask application, deploy it in your site, and then clean up, okay. So yeah, before following, we'll see this to be completed. See here, this is the domain name, but it will be start running only when your application goes, yeah, can you see this? You can try it, guys. I'll paste down the link. It's my sample application which is running right now. You should get this page. Can you guys try it? So you can deploy your Django application or Flask application here, right? Can you guys try it and update me quickly? I need to skip it to the Flask application running. For Flask, I have the code. I'll explain you manually. I'll do it, and then for Django, we'll go hands-on from the start itself. Django is a little bit complex. That's why, okay. Have you guys know about virtual environment in Python? Any idea what is a virtual environment? Yeah, I hope it's working. I'm getting some yes. So for now, okay, let it be. And how many of you guys know about a virtual environment? Yeah. So a virtual environment is like a separate, it's a separate environment where the packages can be installed newly. To do that, I'll show you when I run Django, okay. I'll be creating a virtual environment. Once you create your virtual environment, you have to install Flask, okay, using pip install Flask. And then if you go with pip freeze, pip is a command for what your libraries you have or install it. If you go and use pip freeze in your command line, you will be getting what all things you have and their versions. So just do it and then use this pip freeze and use this greater than symbol and go with requirements.txt, because you need a file like this. I'll show you guys. This is a file. Requirements.txt will be created in that command because it will be kickstarting everything. Okay, so this is where automatically run because your libraries are required, right? So in this requirement file, it will be, the name should be proper, requirements.txt, then only you can get it. Once you've done that, okay, scroll below, you have to create a Flask application. but the name of it must be application.py. Okay, so inside of it you have to create an app which is in the name of application. If you know Flask, then it will be good. I can't teach you Flask about right now, but note this down, your name should be application.py. And this is a sample app. See here, from Flask I am importing the Flask. This is where I will create my application. So I need to create it in this name, application. That's must equal to Flask, and this is a double underscore name double underscore to check it. And using, if you know Flask, then you will be creating a route, and then I'm just defining a function which is hello, which will return this template which is index.html. Okay, and if I just go inside the templates, I have this index.html, which is actually, if I go into the notepad, what I had is I have copied a bootstrap template. Okay, it's a free template which I have just included here. You can copy and paste that. Okay, for example, bootstrap template. So for example, if I wish to include this in my site, I can go and download it or copy. Okay, so I have attached it in my application in my HTML part, so that will be taken from there directly. So once I have this, I also have to have this file which is .eb extensions. Okay, I'll be creating this when I go with Django, but for Flask we can skip this and see here. Inside of this I need to create a file in the name python.config, which should have contents like this. If you want, take a screenshot of it. So it will tell your Elastic Beanstalk where your application path is there in the name of application. Inside that I have it in the name of application. So you need to have both of these. You have to type the same in this python.config file. If you have everything, all these things, what you can do is you can just add it inside a folder, or just create a zip file, add to archive, store it as a zip file. Okay, so now I have created a zip file. That's fine. Now what I'm going to do is, here now this is running my sample application, right? So if I want, I can upload and deploy a new version. I'll choose the file. See here in my home page of my application environment, I'm clicking upload and deploy and choosing the file which is sample Flask. Okay, so this is the version name of it, and you can deploy that. Okay, it's deploying, which means it won't go down. See here, only when it completed, it will shift to that new application. So you can refresh it and you can see now updating environment with the settings. Environment is starting newly. Once again, the time also you can get. After this we'll go Django. I'll tell you guys in command line interface, fully hands on. How many of you guys know about Django? Can I get yes or no in chat box? Anyone have handled the Flask or Django previously? Then only you can understand this to a little bit extent. Otherwise, listen, try to grasp later on when you. Okay, bad. Okay, there is some issue, I think so, with the code which you have given. Please wait, I'll check it. Okay, it seems good. I'll just do it once again. We'll try to upload and deploy. Yeah, if anything goes down, you'll be getting this bad gateway, which means it's not running. Okay, I'm trying to start it once again. Yeah, let's wait and see. Yeah, I hope now it's available. So earlier I have provided one link, right? Can you guys try to access that link? You will be getting this sample page from Bootstrap. So now you can see the health has been changed. So you should get this page actually. Can you guys try and verify it? So this is actually that Bootstrap page which I have told you guys. We are getting it. Now the health becomes okay, fine. So that's how we can utilize this. Yes. I have sent it once again. It's a sample page from Bootstrap. We have included that, and yeah, it may be high level for some people. I can see that yeah, many people are using that, right? So we can see it as degrading. Fine. So yeah, I'll stop it now. Terminate it. It is a low end, so it will be it can't handle the load. So now we'll try to create and deploy the same with Django. I'll be doing that by following our documentation. So I'll go with AWS Elastic Beanstalk Django documentation. Okay. Yeah. So we'll follow the steps. First, I need to create a virtual environment. Okay. So I'll go into some of the location. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, I'll open command line. Okay, so let me create a virtual environment. It can be created with Python -m virtual environment, a name for my environment which is env. So if you can see in this folder, a env folder will be created which is a virtual environment. This is how in Python we used to create a virtual environment. If you don't know about it, note down these terms and learn more about it later. So it is still creating, now only it is completed. Okay, so if I want to go inside of that, I can use environment. Inside of that we'll be having environment scripts folder. Inside of that I should call this activate file. Okay, so I'll go with environment cd scripts, and then if you have this activate file, just click that. You can see now I am inside that virtual environment of Python now. Okay, I'll come back outside to this base folder of AWS, and I can use pip install django. Okay, we'll follow the steps from here. After creation of virtual environment, you have to install django. So I'll do that. Pip install django, let it install. I think it's proceeding. So yeah, Django has been installing. We'll wait for it to wind up. So once you install Django, you can use pip freeze, and later on you have to store it like we did in Flask. Okay, I'll do that later. And scrolling below, I should be inside of my virtual environment, and this is from Django. If you don't know about Django, Django is a web framework of Python. If you call admin and start a project by giving any name, a particular project in that name will be created. It will give you all these files: init, settings, URL, WSG, and manage.py. I don't know how many of you guys know about Django. If you know about this, you can get this by this single line of command. Okay, yeah, now Django has been installed. We'll go with pip freeze. So this is the list we have now. Okay, fine. So now what I can use it, I can go and use this command django-admin start project. Okay, we can give a project name. I'll give it as web app. You can see a file will be created here, web app. See here, if I go inside of it, it will be created manage.py, and if inside of that web app you can find all these files. Okay, for now I'll run it in my local server. I can move into this folder which is web app and call py, okay, manage.py, this file to run server with this command run server. Okay, it will run the server in my local. This is a local server, you can't get it. Okay, this is running locally in my system, you can't actually view it, but I can. Okay, in my local server it is running. It is to tell you that Django is working successfully, but it's running in my local server. You can't use this or you can't view it. It's not deployed globally. Let us deploy this globally with Elastic Beanstalk now. Okay, so to do that, now I can see my Flask application is fine, but what I should do is I should follow the documentation. So I'll just cut this off for now with Control C, and then I should go into the documentation and scroll below. So this is what they have tell you to run server and check whether it's working. So now it's working. So now what we have to do is you have to configure your Django application for Elastic Beanstalk. To do that, you have to have this file pip freeze requirements.txt. Okay, and this should be inside of your with your manage.py, which means that I should be in this web app. Okay, I'll move into, yeah, I think we have it here. So I'll go with this command pip freeze requirements.txt. So now inside of requirement.txt, that requirements will be saved. It is created with the command line. Okay, that has been done. And then what's the next step? We need to create once again a make directory eb.extensions like we did in Flask, right? So I'll copy it and paste it here. That folder will be created. And now I think I should use echo to create a file which is I think the file name should be django.config. Okay, inside of that I should have these contents, django.config. Okay, I'll copy these contents, I should paste it there, and see here, this eb django is the name of your application. In my case it's web app. Okay, in extensions it is empty. Okay, okay, echo. Okay, it's not creating, so we just use the VS Code to do this. Open folder, AWS, my web app, extensions, just select this folder and I'll create a, I trust this, create a new file in the name django.config file. Okay, so here I should paste it, and this name eb django should be web app, the name of your application. So if you have it, now inside of that I have my Django configuration file. So that's done now. Okay, these things are done. So now what you can do is you should get everything like this. Okay, you should get your extensions file like this, and you should have your manage.py and requirements.txt in this folder like this. Once you have it, you need to install this ebcli. Okay, pip ebcli. Okay, you can use this command pip install AWS Elastic Beanstalk command line interface. So I'll install it. because this will help us to connect. Okay, you can either directly manually go into Elastic Beanstalk service and create your environment and application and run it by submitting your zip file of your code, or you can directly do it from command line interface by doing some command lines which is given by them. So you can use this line, which is eb init. This is to start, but you can see this is 3.7, but my application which I am using right now is Python version will be like it's 3.11, so I should create 3.11 version. I should change this, otherwise I will be getting error. Okay, it's 3.11. So you can see it has started. Okay, so we'll go with the next line. You should go with init, and this is optional. I'll skip this part. We should create django environment, run this command. So I'm just following the steps which is given in their documentation one by one. So this will actually kickstart a lot of things. Okay, it's actually created in US West 2. Sorry about that. We'll skip to US West 2. Next time you can also mention the region. I'll tell you later on about it. US West 2 is Oregon, I think so. By default it is creating. So it will go through a series of steps. See here, it will be starting creating an environment. It is doing the same tasks. Okay, see here, it is starting now. So it's doing, we are doing that from our command line interface. And once this is done, what we should do is we should type this eb status, and we will be getting a lot of details in that. I should copy this cname. It is my name or the place. Okay, so this cname should be copied and pasted inside of your Django file in the settings.py in Django. You will be having this allowed hosts. I'll do that later when we have that cname. I should paste it and then run this deploy. Once we done that, we can get that application globally running. Please wait. We'll see that and wind up this session. This should be completed. If everything goes smoothly, then yeah, it will work. And I hope this is actually a lot of things going on because it uses Flask and Django. If you have that knowledge, you can understand it better. Still, anyway, as a AWS user, you just need to know that Elastic Beanstalk is a service for deploying your web application. If you have your code, it is nothing but platform as a service. Clear? This is actually going on, it's not wind up yet. We should be doing a couple of things. First one will be checking the status, copy this cname, paste it inside of your file, and then go with deploy. That will update the things there. Okay, please wait, it is about to complete, I think so. Yeah, and actually in the next session what we will be doing is we are planning to start with our storage services and then database services and so on. So till that, yeah. You guys know it will take some time. You can also view it from here in the environment. It is these logs only, we are getting it from there. Okay, so yeah, it is about to complete. We'll do that, get that cname with the help of, we need to do this, which is status. Okay, so let us start. Once this is completed, we'll go with status, and we should be updating it here inside my web app, inside the settings. If I open with notepad, I'll be having this allowed host right here. I should paste that cname. Okay, still it is taking some time. Yeah, in the meantime, so if you want to convert this masterclass into a certified internship, you can join as an internship user. You will be getting all the 21 day of session, access to it for 90 days, source codes of project, downloadable PPTs, and you'll be getting 6 room session. To avail this, you can use this coupon code of AWS MC2 and get it in a discounted fee of 899. The link is provided in the chat box. It's done now, so I'll go with EB status. Okay, Elastic Beanstalk status. So where we have our CNAME, we have it here. Can you guys see this? This is the name which we are waiting for. Just copy it and then go into your settings.py, open it with any application or notepad, and just do this. Inside this list, just store it. Okay, save it. Fine, now you want to update this thing, so you have to go with eb deploy. Okay, so if this deployment is successful, okay, then if I paste that link to you, you guys view that sample web application which will be starting running. Okay, so the new version will be starting now. If everything is proper, we can get that. I think that's what the steps required. Yeah, deploy. After that, if you go with eb open, you should get that application running. So I'll try it now. eb open. So if you go with eb open, it will automatically redirect and open a URL with your application running, and I can give it guys to you. Check whether you are getting this sample. I have pasted that link. Okay, I don't think you got the link, right? Sorry for that. Okay, can you guys take that link particularly from that? I think this is the link. I'm posting it again. Can you guys try this and verify whether it is working or not? And since this is just a Django project, you can create application and create or define your own code which will be running like this. So this is how you can use your command line interface and run your Django application. Can I get some update, guys? Can you guys view it? Or yeah, I think I can provide you with this link. Now I have pasted another link. Can you guys try that? It will work. It's working for me. It should work for you. The link I have posted earlier was not a proper link, so that's what the issue. You guys should get this same page. Yeah, it's working, right? You should get this sample page. We are just running a sample application of Django. If you are getting, yeah, it's running. This is just a project. We haven't had any code or anything. This is a sample Django application I have deployed globally with the help of Elastic Beanstalk. Like that, Elastic Beanstalk take care of everything. You can just run your applications with your code. And yeah, I think it's successful. And I'll tell you guys how to wind up these things. Go into the environments and click this, and in the actions just terminate it, otherwise it will be keep on running. And yeah, if you go after the limit, you have to pay for it. If you terminate, EC2 instances and all created by this will be automatically deleted. Everything will be removed on its own. So just terminate it, and you can't, like, you can go without any tension. So now it will be stopped because the server has stopped. It won't be working. Yeah. So that's it. Thank you. Thanks for watching this session. In the next session, particularly, we are going to discuss about some of the storage services like Elastic Block Store, Elastic File Store, and S3, which is important. We'll see all these three in the day 6. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.